Hey everyone, in today's video we're going over what prices are the best places to pick up more CRO so you can earn more CRO during this bear market. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ben. I've made over 6 figures trading crypto and I'm on a journey to 10K a month of passive income to spend more time with friends and family, and I want to help you all do the same. Let's go. So CRO has had a rough past few months after reaching new all-time highs end of last year along with the entire market. I'm sure I'm not alone when I say I wish I would have sold more and been more patient to rebuy my positions. It got all the way up to 94 cents on some exchanges and all the way up to 98 cents on Coinbase. And I locked up about 42,000 CRO around these all-time highs to get my IC white card, which I use today. It was all part of my plan when it came to taking profits with CRO, and if you aren't sure what I'm referring to, check out my video on when to sell CRO, and this was my plan at the end of last year. The plan went pretty good. I had sold some every 10 or so cents all the way up to 90 cents or so, and I wish I would have been more patient waiting for certain prices to rebuy. I probably started rebuying at like 60 or 50 cents, and I'd still made a good amount by selling and then rebuying lower, but I could have made a lot more by being more and more patient. Now it's currently down about 90% from the all-time highs, and it's trading around 12 cents at the time of this recording. Whether or not the price is higher or lower when you watch this video, these numbers and strategies will still apply. The positive thing about being at these prices is that the amount that you use to dollar cost average goes a lot further and can get you way more CRO, which will help you earn more. So first tip is to remember that you will be earning more CRO every time you spend with your debit card, and the amount of CRO can be worth more in the future. With my IC White card, I'm earning 3% back on purchases, 8% staking rewards, and this equates to about 70 CRO every week for my staking reward. And you will also earn more CRO back with all the other rebates. So with my rebate for Amazon Prime, Netflix, and Spotify, I'm earning roughly 300 plus CRO a month at these prices. If we go lower, I could be earning even 500 plus CRO from that each month. When we were a lot higher, I was earning between 50 and 100 CRO extra per month. Now when CRO goes up again in the next bull run, that could be an extra hundreds of dollars that I've earned during this bear market. On our challenge of 1,000 to 100,000 CRO, we have a weekly buy of $10 to add to our positions. And when we started it, it would be about an extra 15 to 20 CRO each week. And now it's adding an extra 70 to 100 CRO each week. This helps a ton because when we have trades happening, we'll be able to use larger amounts of CRO and earn more CRO per trade that we do. We can start to use 80 to 100 CRO in a single trade compared to when we started the challenge. We were using about 20 to 25 CRO per trade. And instead of earning 2 to 2.5 if we do a 10% trade, we'd be earning 8 to 10 CRO on a 10% trade. I've mentioned before in previous videos on how to value invest when you dollar cost average into positions. And this basically means that you use more when it's cheaper and less when it's higher. So then this will bring down your average cost basis lower, and it'll get you more coins over a long period of time. Now what I did is I created a spreadsheet that shows this in action compared to the normal dollar cost average over 20 weeks. So here's the spreadsheet that I created. Now at the top left, it's how much you dollar cost weekly. If you change this number, it'll change all the numbers in the spreadsheet. And here on the right hand side in orange, I created the price ranges in USD as well as in Satoshis in Bitcoin to know when is the ideal time to be buying. And how this value investing works is when it's at lower prices, you'll put in more than your original. So let's say your amount that you're putting in weekly is $50. If it's below 6 cents, you'd put in $100 instead of $50. And in Satoshi prices, it's around 500 to 600. If it was below 150, you would put in $150 equivalent, but in Satoshi prices. And now with these numbers, I only did it in USD prices, but it would be the same in Satoshi prices. So I just basically had a bunch of random prices that I changed over a period of 20 weeks, and I just wanted to make them equal the same percentage overall after those 20 weeks. And so incorporating these price differences. This is the result. So it started out at like 11 cents and had it go up all the way to 57 cents. And you could see these prices show, or the percentage that you buy will be different depending on the price. So if it's 10 cents or lower, you'd put in 150%. So instead of your $50, you put in $75, and so on. And then when it's higher prices, you'd put in less. So like when it's above 50 cents, you'd be putting in half of your $50. So you be putting in $25. And you can see how these compare against each other. And even though over the 20 weeks you're using the same percentage, so you're investing the same amount, this outperforms it by 901 crow. So you'd have 901 crow more by doing this dollar cost average. And it's an additional about 16% more crow over this period of time. Now, if you did this for a longer period of time, this would show even more. And especially when you're getting some at these cheaper prices between 7 and 10 cents or below 6 cents, this will just increase and more and more and more over time when we're at these ideal buying prices. And then once things are back up a lot, you'll be buying a lot less. And so then you'll be saving that extra to go towards when we are back below and it's an ideal time to be buying. So that's kind of how this works. Is right now you're using extra to dollar cost average in, but when things are good and things are a lot higher prices, you're using a lot less percentage of that amount. Now we could change this to anything, like we can say $10 a week, and this will change all the numbers. And you still are making you're making the same percentage. You're making an additional 180. Let's just say $20 a week. You'd make an extra 360, 25, an extra 450, and let's just say 150. An extra 2,700 crow. Let's go back to the original. And as I said, this is just with random numbers inputted, but the longer that we're in a bear market and we're trading between the price ranges of, let's just say 6 all the way up to 20 cents, the more our dollar costing average will get us in the long term. Because then when things go back up, then we're putting in less and less, and over time, the longer that we're in this bear market, the more coins we'll get. And now when it comes to Satoshi prices, even though we're sitting between 500 and 600 Satoshis for Crow, I've seen it as low as 150 to 200 Satoshis. And it also traded around 300 Satoshis for a really long time, which is why I base these numbers off of that. So if it were in those ranges again, I'd be aggressively buying these percentages with the Bitcoin that I'm holding, and then lower those percentages as it gets higher and higher. And now if Crow was trading at 300 Satoshis with Bitcoin at the price of $20,000, that would put Crow at 6 cents. And these are how I kind of got these numbers, because 6 cents was basically the bottom of where Crow was end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. And so that's how I got the price range right here. And it's pretty close to the 300 Satoshi, which is a common spot that it was trading for a really long time. And with Bitcoin at 20K, that's what the price would be. Now, if Bitcoin was at 30K and Crow went down to 300 Satoshis, it would be trading at 9 cents. It's a great idea to use Bitcoin to trade against altcoins, because money is still in the markets and you either get more Bitcoin or more altcoins with each trade you make, like we've seen in our trading challenge, which, by the way, it's going very well and we're at new all-time highs, so we might be doing another episode even though we just did one a couple weeks ago. Moving on, the value investing DCA strategy earns you about 16% more Crow over those 20 weeks using the exact same amount which I just did for the spreadsheet. These are just example numbers, not ones I think will happen in the next 20 weeks. And you can adjust these numbers you want to DCA to 10 to 20 bucks or 100 bucks like I showed you, and it'll update the spreadsheet. And if you want to mess around with the spreadsheet, check it out in the description of this video. Now the other indicator that helps know when to buy is the RSI, and I showed this in my previous video, but I think it'll be super helpful to know when to buy and sell. It's a spreadsheet that I created that I update with new numbers daily to show if we're oversold or overbought and how we can react to these numbers. So here it is, and we're currently working on strategies with the data to figure out what's the best strategy using this data to make the most of it. We're currently figuring that out, but let me show you the CRO chart. So here we are, and you can see that we were oversold for a long period of time. So these are the prices to be picking up more CRO, and that doesn't mean that we can't go lower. We could see some more blue in the near future, even though right now we're currently out of it. We could see more blue in the future, and that's why we're developing these strategies to know what is the best way to approach this and approach this data. And if you'd like me to go and do a full detailed video on the RSI spreadsheet and the strategies we have been testing, I would be more than happy to do that for you guys, because I think this will be super helpful in the long term on figuring out a way to maximize when to buy and when to sell, and to help grow our portfolios by a big amount. Overall, there are multiple ways to help you know when to buy CRO and earn more CRO during this bear market, and come out of this bear market with a large bag of CRO. And you could also apply these tips to your whole portfolio to make the most you can. If you found this video helpful, check out my video on the step-by-step guide on how I would get to 25,000 CRO. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, as always, keep it in the green.